What good's rubbing my body if you can't tackle my mind? I don't indulge in it. I'm low-key graphic tee and jeans and a fitted cap. Way too many avenues. I'm busy trying to skin a cat. Hey y'all, hey y'all. If you are new here, just know that was me listening to me. To all my new subscribers, I welcome you in, my beautiful wildflowers. I hope that you guys join me for this live. We're going to be talking about dreams and some of the complications that come with wanting to live your dream out loud. So, if you are new here, I do encourage you guys to thumbs up the video, get your girl in the flow of everything that's happening out here in the world. I want to be a part of some of it, okay? And again, the chat is for encouraging one another as we continue through this lesson. If you are new, again, I type up a curriculum that I go by so that I can keep up with what it is I came to say and not get lost in my thoughts. So without any further delay, at the end of this lesson that I talk about, we're going to go to the chat, see if anybody want to add something to it. So without further ado, about to get started. So this is titled A Dream Deferred, Never Stop the Pursuit. In honor, Langston Hughes was introduced to me during my 7th grade school year. My language arts teacher recited one of his most famous works, A Dream Deferred, while standing at the front of the classroom. According to poemanalysis.com, Mr. Hughes, as well as many others during the Harlem Renaissance era, were only celebrated within their own communities and by others that looked like them. Ironically enough, my 7th grade language arts teacher was a young white woman. Times have noticeably changed in many areas, with some changes being greater than others. So, that was my introduction to Langston Hughes, which during the course of me being in college, I did study music appreciation as one of my electives. And I learned a little bit more about different people because Langston Hughes is just a notable person. If you don't know who that is, please research it on your own so that you are better equipped when you're diving into the lessons of your own life and what it is you're shaping and molding. And simply due to me saying this today and you being a listener, nothing happens by happenstance or by chance. Everything is already divinely ordered. So I do encourage you guys to listen, to research Langston Hughes so you'll know exactly who it is I'm talking about if you've never heard of that famous poem. So during the pursuit, a lot of people find it most challenging to pursue their dreams when children are involved. No access to proper child care, funds are limited, other expenses take priority, lack of support from those closest to them could be a factor, no flexibility in their schedules, or unable to make time due to the starring role they've taken on in their families. And let me echo that real quick because when my mom was still alive, I was the star of her show. I was the one helping to facilitate a lot more than a lot of other people were due to their own schedules and inabilities to show up, doing certain things. So sometimes we take on these responsibilities as being a caretaker for family members or just being a stand-in, somebody that you're already working, you're already doing this, and now you're having to do this. So then you forget your own dreams, your own goals, because you have all these other things going on, right? So I definitely relate to that one. And then the number one is fear, believe it or not. And that gets in the way of a lot of people pursuing their dreams. So fear, the fear of becoming successful, enters the minds of people you least suspect. It's a natural response when you set your sights on things beyond your own beliefs. For me, I've done so many different things. I've recently had a conversation with my sister. She was like, Nikki, do you know that like you've done a lot? You've done this, you've done that, this and that. And I'm listening to her talk to me on the phone, and she's just, she has no idea that I really be forgetting a lot of the things that I've done, and just to verbally mention some of those things. I've been in 2 independent films. I can't tell you the name of one of them, but I think the other one was Still Broke. I was in that movie, had a little dialogue in both movies as well. Of course, I am known on the music scene. A lot of people know me by my stage name, which is Fire. I've done recordings in and out the city, all these different things. But what scared me most about becoming successful during the time I was really in hot pursuit of my dreams and wanting more for myself and my family and those I was connected to. What scared me the most was the devil's den. And I use that term loosely and only because a lot of us identify with the devil as something being bad or whatever, right? And so that scared me the most. I'm grateful that I did not get, because I do consider myself to be very talented, I was not mature enough to be in those settings, to be around those people, to be, in a company of other people on their grinds, because I just did not, I didn't have the proper training. A&R development teams used to go out and scout out these different talents and everything, and then they would help them develop their artistry. I mean, this is all mind, body, and spirit to be able to navigate in that world. And during that time, I mean, I was a hothead. I was in my own way. I just wasn't ready for it. So that was my greatest fear, and I'm glad I did not have to go into that blindly, because sitting back looking at the way things are now and with my level of consciousness that I have, I was being divinely protected. I was being guided purposely because I was supposed to be right here where I'm at right now in front of you guys that are tuning in to me. And so some of the remedies that I typed up for you guys, to what I mentioned about those fears and those things that hold us back from pursuing our dreams and our goals that we set for ourselves is, maybe you can rework your monthly budget if finances are a factor. Rework your monthly budget to find the cash to cover additional childcare expenses, especially when you got kids, because it's hard. And there were times that I would have to show up to the studio and do sessions with my son, and the engineer or the producer, whoever I was in business with, they understood it. It was a no-brainer. And so if you can bring your kid to do some of these things that you are in pursuit of, then bring your kid. Just let people know ahead of time what's happening and make it happen. This may even call for you to barter. That way you're not spending cash but exchanging resources with someone. Let's say that you got somebody that can watch your kids, right? But you also know how to braid hair. You don't just know how to paint, but you want to go and do some painting, or go attend some art show or something that has something to do with whatever your dream is. Then why don't you offer some of your services? If you know how to braid hair, you know how to cut hair, you do lawn care, and you need somebody to watch your son while it's your weekend to get your son, offer to cut their grass, for the men out there. If you braid hair, offer to braid their hair in exchange for childcare. That's kind of what people did back in the day anyway. So it's not uncommon, but that is an option. Highlight the support that you do get from those that you're connected to. And make sure that you're sowing into those friendships, kinships, and relationships, because a lot of times we get so focused on complaining on who does not do something that we forget to acknowledge the people that do. Make sure you're sowing into them to show gratitude, to show appreciation, so that you keep that door open for you to be able to get the reciprocity. You know what I mean? So you're sowing into them, they're sowing into you. So amplify the things that you want to see get bigger in your life, expand in your life, and not so much as complain about who doesn't do what. Simplify your life by cutting back on unnecessary spending. A lot of us go out here and we buy duplicates of the same thing. Like, how many pairs of tennis shoes can one person own? How many dresses can one person own? Like, seriously. And if you're not donating while you're out here doing your splurging and your shopping and everything, that's a whole another thing that you should consider addressing in your own time. Okay, because in order for you to bring things in, you must release things out. That's how you start practicing the art of detachment. That way you're not consuming all these different things, these tangible things in the world that really don't mean anything to us, and they do not amplify anything. They may make us feel good because we're looking good in the moment, but after you use it, give it away. Give it to somebody else. Not unless you like me. I'm a minimalist. I don't buy a whole lot. I ain't even gonna front. If you know me in real life, you know how I get down. This includes modifying your vacation. Sometimes we can't go to Florida. Sometimes we need to go to East Tennessee, go off in one of them cabins, something with them kids and everybody else, have a good time for a fraction of the cost it takes for you to travel all the way to Florida or California on a flight or whatever with your family. Okay, so sometimes you have to modify those vacations and cut back on some of these social engagements. Not everything requires you to show up, because most of the time when you're showing up, you're paying your own way, and it could very well cost you anywhere from, even this is back in the day, I don't hang out anymore, but when I used to hang out, I could easily spend anywhere from $60. We're talking a matter of hanging out for a couple of hours. $60 to over $100 in one night, because I'm paying for my own picture, I'm buying my own drinks, I'm buying my own chicken, especially if I don't know the guy that's trying to offer to buy me whatever, if we don't have that type of, because you got to be careful, honey. They be thinking they own you by the end of the night. So anywho, include your dreams and your goals inside of your schedule, because some of us fuss about not having the time to do it. So when you think about leisure, when you think about hanging out and doing all these other special side engagements, make sure that it's something in the realm of what it is you're in pursuit of, so that you stay inspired, you stay encouraged. That's how you continue to have desire to want to pursue all these different things out here. When you're surrounding yourself with your very gifts, with your very talents that are coming from somebody else, let the world be your muse in that way, so that you stay inspired. What you feed, it grows, and that is the truth. You can see that even in your personal life. Dreams and goals set aside, if you're sitting there complaining about how you don't have this and how you don't have that, you're going to experience that a whole lot longer. I told you guys before, my mom used to say, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. So instead of worrying about what you don't have, focus on the things that you do have, and then look for solutions on how to obtain the things that you say you do not have. If you hear a lawnmower going, honey, that is my neighbor who knew he would be out here cutting their grass. Anywho, I'm gonna stay focused. So make sure you're extending a helping hand when needed and not overextending yourself. So this ties into being the star player of whatever family responsibilities you have, which I use the example of me taking care of my mom. Sometimes you have to step back and say, hey, look, I got such and such sessions set up. Oh, I got this plan, this and the other. I'm not going to be able to help or do XYZ. Can you fill in the gap? Even if they can't take the whole thing, if they could take part of it so that you're not totally disregarding what it is that you're in pursuit of, that's good. So focus on that part of it. You have to do something. It doesn't matter how small it is, just as long as you're doing something. So remind yourself that you are just as much deserving of success as anyone else that has succeeded with the plans of their life. That's how you tackle that fear. Get comfortable with being better than you were before. Who knew that I would be in a space to be able to sit here and talk to you guys about some of these different life lessons that I've been able to share with you guys when I go live with you guys, which is what I choose to do with my live time, is to talk about things that matter to me and things that I feel like can help your lives as well. Because this is who I am in my private life. This isn't a facade. I'm constantly shaping and molding me to be the woman that is supposed to be here in this moment, in this time, experiencing the different people that I'm coming in contact with. The only way I can grant myself and others a beautiful experience of myself is if I'm making sure I'm staying in alignment by the things that I share with you guys. So a lot of this rhetoric that I spew and that I share is something that I write for myself as well, so that I stay encouraged on my journey and I don't forget about the things that I said I will come here to do. Although I have forgotten about the many things I have done since I've been here, but that's what reflection is for. So maybe that's something I can work on, as far as finding time to start reflecting over some of the things that I've done and be in awe, be in amazement with the different things that I've done, because I know I've forgotten way more than I can remember. But remember this: if it doesn't scare you a little when we're talking about our fears, when we're in pursuit of something, then maybe you aren't reaching high enough. You're supposed to be a little bit scared. Nobody in your family's ever done it. Nobody has ever tried to do what it is that you're setting out to do. Allow that to be the fuel you need so that you can do it. How do you know what the end is going to be if you do not see it through? If you do not continue doing your very best while you're in pursuit of these goals, these dreams, and all these other things that we want for ourselves while we're here in this physical world? You definitely want to see what the end is going to be. There's nothing to argue or negate when you have not saw your journey all the way out to the end. All the people that probably doubted you, that probably said that you couldn't do it, I don't want to say ha ha in their face, prove them wrong. Do it for you. Do it for you. You don't have to say anything. The truth doesn't need defending, right? And so some of the quotes that you can live by, if you got a pen and a piece of paper, you might want to jot these things down. This is something that came up for you guys. Came up with for you guys. Quotes to live by: a delay in a plan is not a deny. You have the right to start over as many times as you need to. Each rising of the sun tells us all that we have another day to get it done. Focus on the things you want to amplify in your life. Only you can keep you from your pursuit. No matter how bleak things appear to be, nothing beats failure but a try. So give it your best shot. That's the only thing that can stop you, is you not doing anything. It's you. Nobody else can get in your way. The moment you get started on something that you were placed here to do, I'm telling you, all you have to do is A and B. C is going to find its way to you. And then D is going to fall out of thin air. E is going to come from left, right field. And then before you know it, you're like, oh my God, and I thought I couldn't do it. Look what all I've done, And so lastly, and it's true because I'm going to show y'all some tangible things in just a second. So, lastly, life has ended prematurely for a lot of people that may not have been prepared to leave this world. Because they ran out of time, it should inspire you to use the time that you have been gifted wisely. For nothing in the physical world brings our ancestors greater joy than knowing we are actively participating in life and following our dreams. The people that are preparing to transition from this world in this very second in the time before all have one thing to say: I wish I had more time. And you have the time, you have the space, you have the good health, you have everything that you need. You let the details work itself out. All you have to do is be in pursuit of it and watch what I tell you is going to align, and you're going to see it to the end. Okay, all I'm saying is this: don't give up on yourself, man. So many people out here that be giving up on themselves, that look at, how old they are and this and that. I remember when I was in my early 30s and I started back up doing my music, because now I've developed a certain level of consciousness, right? And now my lyrics are different, and I'm approaching it from a different angle. I'm being more respective of the fact that there are young adults listening to me, young adults paying attention to me. And I want to make sure what I'm saying is in good taste, but also complementary to what it is that I really do feel, because I do believe you should raise your own children. Anybody younger than, somebody that should be listening to explicit lyrics, you should raise your own children and allow that to be what it needs to be for your household and not put the pressure on somebody else. That's just how I've always looked at it. But anywho, when I think about how many times someone has said to me, you've gotten too old, or you shouldn't do that because that's for the little kids, that's for the young girls. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, you're my age and you listening to some very immature lyrics. And you mean to tell me that if somebody your age approached this same, idea of whatever this hook is from a grown woman perspective, that you wouldn't appreciate that? Since when did we start putting age limits on things? Since when did we start telling people things like that? That's never okay. That's like telling somebody they can't go back to school to be a lawyer because they're 60 years old. Who are you to tell somebody that? It's their life force. What they choose to do with their life force is up to them. So if y'all ever had anybody say anything like that to y'all, downing y'all or speaking negatively about something that you're thinking about doing, like, understand that you're not the only one that has been through that. I've gone through that too, for different reasons and different titles and everything else, that I was in the process of doing. Somebody not believing that I could do this, somebody not believing that I should do this, based on ageism, sexism, or whatever the case may be. But anywho, I hope you guys have gathered something from this lesson of a dream deferred, and how you should never stop the pursuit, no matter what it is. Learn to modify, your schedule. Keep up with your finances in such a way that it includes what it is that requires you to spend something over here so that you can continue following your dreams. Sometimes we have to finance ourselves. My son asked me not so long ago. He was like, Mom, when you gonna get back in the studio? I said, honey, when somebody else can pay for it, my money has taken us as far as I can go. Okay. But I do have some music on another channel. If you guys will go back and look at my other videos, you'll find all the information out. I tend to do things and then move on from it because I want to die empty, and I don't necessarily just focus on one particular thing because I have so many talents. Anywho, let's go over some tangible things. So I want to share with you guys the first book that I wrote and that started out my first novel, One Woman's Work, which took me 3 years to write. All the information is in other videos. This is what it looks like. This was the writing of the first, right? I ain't gonna go through every page. Anywho, I can't even halfway read none of them words on that. Okay, so it went from this. Y'all see that? It went from this. The inscription reads, let your request be known to God. And that is Philippians 4:6. My sister gifted me one of these journals for my birthday. And it turned into this, which was the manuscript I typed out. And I'm just going to flip through a few pages here. So there. And last but not least, it ended up being this. So you can do it. It can be done. Do not think that you don't have what it takes to get it all done. And this is the inside of my book here. And there are some illustrations in here as well. I don't know if I ever do a video talking about this in detail or not. I should, but I don't know. Whatever my spirit calls me to do is what I'll do. But I wanted you guys to see some things that really are tangible things that you can look at so that you will stay inspired. This was from my second mixtape, Back by the Hood, in 2008. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. And it was hosted by DJ Don Juan, which was Young Buck's DJ for quite a while. Anywho, so I did that, you know what I'm saying? And that was a dream. I always wanted to do a mixtape, and that was my second one. The first one, long overdue. I have no idea if anybody has a copy of that one. I did that one in, I believe it was 2005. I did that, but I lost the original from my hard drive. But anywho, and your girl has a degree in communication. Okay, let me cover that part up. I have a degree in communication, so yes, that's why I'm always talking. So I was able to do that. I am the first of my mother's children to graduate from college. I don't want to claim anything else in the family as that pertains to getting a college degree or whatever, first one or whatever. But anywho, so all these different things that I showed you guys that are tangible, it's just a reminder that you too can go out and do whatever. I was almost 30 years old when I went back to college, when I even went back to get my GED, okay, and to start it out and do this and do that, all of these different things. Like, so don't put caps on how old, how young you need to be in order for you to get out here and do your thing. The whole goal is to die empty and to use everything that you've been gifted with. If you can sing, I don't care if you're just singing for fun to the kids when you have family functions or whatever, singing for the adults, you know, doing your own little karaoke at the house. I don't care how it comes out. Just use all your gifts, use all your talents. If you do comedy, do it for your family, you know. If you're a good writer, write out some things, you know, encourage other people to write. If you know it's therapeutic for you, just share all these different things. Those are your dreams. Those are your goals. And sometimes they're not as big as other people's. It does not diminish the fact that your dreams are not as important. Okay. Some people have bigger dreams. And then other ones like ourselves, because I remember, honey, when I was a teenager child, y'all want to know what my dream car was? It was a Nissan Altima. Okay. And guess who owned the Nissan Altima? Bought it brand new with 30 miles on the dash. Okay. Showed it in 2013. Your girl was driving her dream car. I didn't even realize it. So one day it just dawned on me. I'm like I got my dream car. Oh my God. And that may be very small to other people, but it was real big to me, baby. Okay, your girl was out here driving her dream car, and it was a Nissan Altima, and it was brand spanking new, 30 miles on the dash. Okay. But anywho, I hope you guys can take something from what it is that we talked about today, a dream deferred. Refer back to this video anytime you feel in doubt, and take down some notes, you know, apply it to your life. Until my next video. Until the next time I hop on YouTube, remember that if you're not felt love anyway, you are loved here, you are thought of, and you are cared for. And I will see you guys then. All right.